Hello everyone, today I'll be talking about trespass. Trespass have many types and these are goods, chattels, person or land. But today I'll be focusing on trespass to land. The questions I will be examining today is that consider whether the abattoir would have a case in trespass against OBC in relation to the planting of the cameras or the Friday demonstration. Consider whether the abattoir would have a case in trespass against the current affairs program, What's Up, relation to the entrance into the abattoir of the reporter and camera operator and the filming that they undertake. On the assumption for this part of the question only that the abattoir would have a case in trespass against OBC for the planting of the cameras, would the abattoir be able to prevent the TV station from showing the film captured by those cameras? I have 4 cases that I will be discussing today, and these are ABC vs Lino Game Meats, Barford City Council vs Saban, Lincoln Hunt vs Willesee, Brinsell Pty Ltd vs ABC Corporation. So, basic question is, what is trespass to land? Trespass falls under tort law, and simply to put it into words, it occurs when a person intentionally enters someone's property or land without permission. Trespass of land have 5 elements that must be met. These elements fall under conduct and fault. Under conduct we have what is land, when is P in exclusive possession, what kind of interferences will constitute direct interference for purpose of trespass, and under fault we have intentional interference or reckless negligence, and no lawful justification of conduct. Then we have remedies. Under remedies we have damages and injunctions. Elements of trespass and remedies will be examined throughout the PowerPoints. Background on question A, first part of question A, is that OBC is an animal rights group. Meat Vest Pty Ltd keep calves awaiting slaughter in very cramped conditions. So OBC sends 2 of its representatives to trespass to enter the land of the abattoir. They placed hidden cameras that stayed on for 3 weeks, filming the conditions and slaughter processes. Based on the background and the question, which element do we apply? We will apply conduct. Under conduct we have an element called land. So what is land? Land is basically ground, a space above the ground, and material beneath the ground. It could also be anything attached to the land, such as buildings, trees. Then we have exclusive possession. Exclusive possession is not the same as owning the land. It can be a person who has the right to hold the land to the exclusion of others. Then we have what kind of interference that will constitute direct interference for purposes of trespass. So this means interference has to be direct. This can be entering without permission or justification, refusing to leave, and permission or license is withdrawn. It doesn't have to be a person, it can be a thing, as we are going to see later on. Which case do we apply to this question? So we have Barford City Council versus Saban. In this case, the council wanted people to remove junk from their backyard, and to the court they gave evidence of photos that they were taken from public street. The issue in this case was whether taking photos of people's property and their privacy was trespass. The court held no, it is not a trespass because there was no direct interference. The council did not enter the land of an exclusive possession holder. The camera wasn't placed on the premises, it was taken from a public street. So none of the elements were met, so there was no trespass. Based on the elements of conduct and the case Barford City versus Saban, would the abattoir have a case in trespass against OBC in relation to the planting of the cameras? Well, yes, it would, because there was a direct interference done by OBC. They entered the premises without having the right, and they placed cameras, so not only there was a trespass by the representatives, there was a camera place, which is an element of trespass. So this resulted in continuing trespass. So the arbiter would have a case in trespass against OBC. Background on second part of question A. OBC held a protest demonstration outside the arbiter on the Friday morning. 60 protesters stand outside the gates holding cards and chanting slogans. The operations director comes out to talk to the protesters and says, "If you don't move away, I will call the police." The protesters refuse to move. So, would the arbiter have a case for the Friday demonstration? No, it would not, because based on Bathurst City versus Sabin, and based on the elements of conduct, there was no direct interference. It was outside the gates, not on the premise, not on the land. So they didn't enter the land, and there wasn't any rocks or anything thrown to the land. So this can only create nuisance. So the arbiter would not have a case for the Friday demonstration. Background on question B is that WhatsApp sent a reporter and a camera operator to cover the protest. When they arrived, they began filming the protest, but however realized that the gate was open and they entered and asked to interview. The interview was refused, asked to leave the premises. They didn't, and they began opening doors looking to see if they can find anyone to interview. Which element do we apply based on the background and to the question? So we have fault. Fault has two elements, which is intentional interference or reckless negligence. And then we have no lawful justification of conduct. These basically mean that the people interfered voluntarily and there was no justification of the actions. The case I will apply to this question is Lincoln Hunt versus Villisi. The plaintiff carries on an investment scheme that attracted dissatisfied customers. One of the customers who was dissatisfied entered the office with the TV crew. The TV crew entered with cameras on and they began filming even though they had no permission. The issue in this case was whether there was a trespass from the moment they entered the premises. Trespass occurred from the moment of entry. That's what the court held. They were not there for bona fide purposes, and bona fide means that the person who enters the land should be there for business purposes, and the TV crew didn't. This illustrates that there was an intentional interference when the TV crew entered the premises without having a license to enter, and there was no lawful justification of them filming without having a permission. So yes, it is a trespass. Then we have Rinsell Pty Ltd versus ABC Corporation. The defendant broadcast the TV show The Investigators, which sought to publicize business practices alleged to be prejudicial to consumers. A reporter and the camera crew entered and asked to interview the company director. The interview was refused. However, they didn't leave their premises, they actually kept on filming. The issue in this case was whether the defendant was trespassing. Yes, that's what the court held. They were trespassing because, first of all, there was a direct interference, negligent interference. They were not for bona fide purposes. It should leave when the exclusive possession holder withdraws their license to enter. With not leaving, they are continuing to trespass. So there is a trespass because they were there voluntarily and they had no justification for keep on filming and looking people to interview. So based on the elements of fault and based on the cases that we examined, what is the result on question B? Well, if a license to enter is withdrawn, then the camera crew should leave straight away because exclusive possession holder wants to exclude them. By refusing to leave and opening doors and searching the premises, this could result in the breach of privacy. And filming is a continuing trespass. and they were not there for bona fide reasons. From the moment they refused to leave, there was a wanton interference and no full justification to the action, and there was a trespass. So yes, the abattoir will have a case on what's up, entering the premises, and filming that they undertake. Then we have a background on question C. OBC has sent the videos and the films that they had taken to a TV station. The TV station intends to broadcast the footage and the film. Then we have remedies. First of all, we have damages and remedies. It's the most common remedy, granted when there is no significant damage. Then we have injunction, awarded when damages are insufficient, and if a trespass is occurring and continuing, it should stop the continuing trespass. And based on the question, injunction can actually stop the TV from broadcasting the film. So based on the background and the question, which cases do we apply? So I have discussed this case before, but the second issue in this case was whether the Rinsell Pty Ltd can seek an injunction to prevent ABC from publishing the footage and the film. It was actually awarded with an injunction because there was an intrusion of the private property, rude and unauthorized interruption. There was a continuing trespass, and when the permission was withdrawn, they did not leave. It created distress to the company director. But the most important factor is that the filming and the trespassing were done by the plaintiff, so it wasn't done by a third party. And because the trespass was done by them and the footage was published by them, the court held that there should be an injunction to stop the continuing trespass. So we have a similar case but with different outcome. Lena Game Meats operate a possum meat processing plant in Tasmania. Anonymous people placed hidden cameras around the premises to film possum slaughter process. This video was then sent to Animal Liberation, then to ABC. The issue in this case was whether Lena can seek an injunction to stop the broadcasting of the footage. So even though this was a trespass, ABC was a third party. They weren't the one who was trespassing, or they weren't the one that was placing the hidden cameras. So a third party can actually broadcast the footage because they weren't the one who was trespassing. So the court held that there could not be an injunction. So would the abattoir be able to prevent the TV station from showing the film captured by those cameras? Based on the two cases that we examined, there won't be an injunction because just like the High Court of Australia said in the ABC vs Lena Game Meats, it is not wrong of a broadcaster to use or publish information that it obtains from someone who totally obtains the information in the first place. So ABC gave it to a TV station. The TV station was a third party and did not obtain the footage themselves or trespass. Therefore, there won't be no injunction to stop the broadcast of the TV. In conclusion, Absol would only have a case in trespass against OBC in relation to the planting of the cameras and to the WhatsApp in relation to the entries into abattoir of the reporter and camera operator and the filming that they undertake. The other two parts, abattoir would not have a successful case against. And this is proven throughout the elements that I used in Trespass to Land and the cases that supported me throughout this. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.